just being aware of some of the issues and being aware of how bizarre some of the things that are said is important. And I think understanding the sort of timeline and the process that we're talking about, I mean essentially the process that we've got on our website that we talk about is, most importantly, we've got to have this consultation thing, and that's what we're talking to the government about at the moment. We've got to consult with people, people have got to be part of the deal. And then, yes, we might have, a part of the process might be having a plebiscite to establish once and for all that, yes, people want to move towards a republic, and perhaps concurrent with that, an indication of what sort of republic people want, you know, and we've got to narrow that down to simpler things to choose from. That is, a republic with the head of state appointed, or a republic with the head of state elected. You know, there's just got to be 2 or 3, not a million choices. Now, once the people have decided those big issues, the nitty-gritty detail at some stage has got to be worked out by people who understand the Constitution and who are basically constitutional lawyers. So you're going to have to get a group of experts together at some stage to sort out the details. Because when we go to that final step, the referendum, firstly, it's going to be obligatory that there's a chance to vote for the status quo. So you can't just put a vote to people in a referendum saying, would you like this type of republic or that type of republic? That would be just too wonderful. You must say, you want to vote for this, and all the details are available over here. Do you want to vote for this, or do you want to stay with the status quo? So that's how the final referendum will be. So that's the sort of process that we're talking about. We'll go with any process that's sensible. And the sort of timeline we're talking about is that we believe that you need about 12, 18 months worth of discussion. Not more than that, and probably not much less than that. And that we think that discussion could start next year. And that means that you could start the voting or the plebiscite and referendum process perhaps as early as the next federal election, end of 2010. Now we know that neither political party is at all keen to have any voting or anything to do with the Republic connected with the elections, right? Because they're terrified that it might help them, or it might help them, or it might disadvantage, or whatever. It's not predictable, so they don't like it, so they don't want it connected. So it's very, very unlikely that any vote will be held concurrent with the election. And we also know that both political parties think that you can only engage the public for about 12 or 18 months period on this. So generally our reading of it is that both parties want the discussion to be confined to about an 18-month period, and they want that 18-month period to be inside the electoral cycle. So that let's say if we take the 2010 election and Rudd gets back in, we don't mind who gets back in from the point of view of the Republic. Someone gets back in, and then say you have the discussion starting in 11, and in 12 you have the plebiscite or whatever, and it keeps away from the 2013 election. So that's a sort of rough time frame that we're talking about, and we've got progress to make there. So if people understand the sort of process, understand the timeline that we're talking about, understand some of the crazy objections or what the real situation is about some of the crazy objections, join and become a member. Terrific. Come to occasions like this, be informed, be part of it, be in Australia. That's what people can do. So I think that's probably more than enough for me. But as I said, very happy to take any questions. Even about the dreaded logo change, which the National Committee is well aware that probably about 10% of our members don't want to change the logo. We understand that and we accept that, but that decision, we've really gone past that decision at this stage now. It's more a question of which logo.
Could I ask why we want to change that beautiful logo?
Certainly. Firstly, it's in royal blue and red, and it has a big R on it, which means Rex or Regina, which means King or Queen. And secondly, although some of our members are wedded to it, no one in Australia wider than our membership recognises it. Thirdly, it's It's very outdated technology as far as the logo goes, very, very, very old. And whilst you and I, Richard, might not think that's important, but people that look at these logos, outdated technology, outdated organisation.
Sure.
They're very, very, very old style. Perhaps more subtly than that. So there's a lot of reasons why it's not. Whilst people like it, and we know that people like it, and I've got the t-shirt too. I've got another $30 in your t-shirt. Whilst we know that some people like it for that reason, as part of our armoury, as part of our getting our message across, it's not helping us.
Well,
There's also a lot of resistance to it because it's connected very firmly with the failed 1991.
Yeah,
It's connected with Malcolm Turnbull.
Yeah.
Right? And Malcolm Turnbull is a negative factor for us at the moment. Potentially positive later on, but at the moment negative. And so it's connected to some bad vibes. And so a long way of getting around the fact that the logo, whilst it's symbolic only, gives us something to look to.
That's clear. That's what we wanted to know, and now we understand. Thank you very much.
And I might say it's been a long process to get to that. I mean, it's 12 months nearly since the National Committee decided to look at it. And I'd say at the time, not all the National Committee believed in it either. I mean, some. And then, you know, we went out, we asked any members that wanted to be part of the consultation process, and I certainly see one lady who was part of that consultation process here today. We went to those, about 40, 50 people, and got their opinions. Someone who was trained in running surveys did that. We created a creative brief, that is, what do we think our organisation is about, how do we want to extend. We recruited about 10 design agencies to put in a bid. Chose 2 of them, because we've got no money to do any of this, right? This is being done on no money budget by volunteers. We got some 2 firms to put in some initial designs, and then we've progressed to what you see on the board. And some of those are reactions from the comments made by people. For example, the original concept was to sort of stylise Australia, Southern Cross, and a wattle bush with the Southern Cross. And the members said, oh, that wattle bushes are not straight, they should be crooked, or let's set out, or I think the sign might have had the wattle flowers, and one of the members said, well, let's have the Southern Cross instead of the wattle flowers. Someone pointed out that this looked like a gum leaf or something, it wasn't clearly Australia, so you put a slash across here and Tasmanians at the bottom, so it's more clearly Australia.